Days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months, and months turn into years, and years turn into your life.
Welcome to the What Up Doc University podcast, your number one resource for total body wellness. Here's your host, Dr. Mike.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mike from whatupdocuniversity.com, and I want to welcome you guys to this podcast. And this episode is going to be about me. Yeah, I know, kind of self-serving, but you know what? It was a question that I get a lot, so I'm going to use this episode in this podcast to answer this question. And here's the question. Dr. Mike, can you tell us what you do on your daily routine? So here is my answer. Now, my day is split up into a couple different sections. I usually split my day up into 4 different sections: my morning, and then my mid-morning, afternoon, and evening. And that's the way I look at it. So here's what we'll do. It's morning time right now, so I'm gonna kick you guys off with what I do in the morning. And this kind of comes off of you heard that episode that we did with Hal Elrod about the miracle morning. And this is something that I've actually been doing for a long time now, but utilizing the things that he was saying in his book and on the different episodes of his podcast. So here's what I've done. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through my day and take it for what it's worth. It's worked for me. It helps me out a lot. I have a pretty busy and demanding schedule, so I need to find that balance, as we all do. You know, we live in a very stressful world, and I see patients every single day who are just stressed out beyond belief. And one of the big things that most people don't admit to is that they're stressed out. And that's, like the 10-step program, right? You first have to admit that you're stressed out. So here's what I do. I actually don't have an alarm set for myself. I used to use an alarm, but I don't use an alarm anymore. I've been doing this for such a long time now that I naturally wake up when I'm supposed to wake up, and I guess that's a good thing, right? But people always say, "Yeah, I wake up when I want to wake up." I wake up when I'm done sleeping. So once you kind of get into this routine, then your body will naturally recognize when you need to get up. So here's what I do. I get up, say around 5:30, 5:40-ish every single morning. And then the first thing I do is I'm lying there in bed and I focus on gratitude. This may seem general, like everybody saying have some type of gratitude. That's what I do. I roll over in bed and I kind of just let my mind drift off into a state of gratitude and thinking about the things that I'm grateful for, people that I'm grateful for, opportunities that have come into my life in general, grateful for my past, present, future, whatever it is, just to kind of get you into that mindset. Hey, and then what I do is I kind of go through in my mind some checklists of different affirmations, and I say different affirmations, and you guys can go and look this up on the internet on what affirmations will work for you, or just start writing things down that you want to affirm, you want to bring into your life, you want to make more of, that you're currently doing or maybe not experiencing. So there's a whole topic on that you guys can research on your own for affirmations. Hey, and then what I do from there is I get out of bed, obviously use the bathroom, and here's a topic that we're going to talk about later, is using the restroom, because a lot of people actually do this improperly. They're not using the restroom properly, or they're not using the restroom enough. And that's a big problem that I see for a lot of people, because when you're asleep, guys, you are actually detoxifying. This is a time when your body goes through a heavy detoxification. So in the morning, right when you get up, is the time where you have to release those toxins. So use the restroom, make sure that you're getting enough water. And that's another thing that I do. So sometimes I'll do it depending upon how much my body has to detoxify right when I get up. I'll either have like a glass of water, room temperature water with a little bit of either freshly squeezed lemon in it, and some, maybe a little pinch of cayenne pepper, or I'll use some lemon essential oil inside of my water and then drink that. And then I'll use the restroom and do that kind of stuff. The other thing I do is I make myself a morning thermogenic drink that's full of B vitamins, and also resveratrol, has a whole bunch of other stuff like my friends are gonna get a kick out of this, Camu Camu and Terrell Stilbean. Has a lot of that in it, just to kind of boost my body's antioxidant capacities, and then get my body going, get my mind going. I also take a supplement that helps to alkalize my body. You know, there's been a big talk on alkalizing water. Well, I don't do alkalizing water, but I do an alkalizing supplement that actually gives me the proper minerals to help balance out my body's pH levels. And then I also take an enzyme supplement, a proteolytic enzyme supplement, to help rid my body of the inflammation and maybe some of the built up scar tissue that may have formed throughout the previous days. And so that's kind of like what I do right when I get up for as far as getting stuff into my body. And then after that, I'll take some time to immerse myself in reading something that's uplifting to my mind, uplifting to my spirit, and I immerse myself either in a scriptural work or some type of personal development book, something that kind of gets my mind set right for the day. Okay? And then right after that, I'll do some type of very, very like short exercise. And when I say short, I mean, we're not like immersing ourselves in the gym and hitting the racks and all that kind of stuff. You know, we're not trying to turn into Mr. Olympia, but, or Miss Olympia, just to be politically correct here. You just want to get your body moving. So whether it's walking or doing some type of I like to do some type of like push-ups or burpees or walking around or something like that. And I'm doing that specifically, one, to maintain strength, muscle mass, and then the other is to increase lymphatic flow. And everything you want to do in your life is about getting things moving, right? It's not necessarily about body physique. That's just an effect. It's more about how your body's functioning. That's what you want to make sure you work on and maintain is proper body functioning. Okay, so read, and sometimes what I'll do as well is if I'm doing a longer type of workout, maybe if I'm doing like a half an hour to 40-minute workout, I'll put on a podcast episode, and we had a few of the podcasts that I listen to on this podcast. You know, we have On Air with Ella. She has a great podcast. Hal Elrod has a great podcast as well. I listened to some of the episodes on a different podcast. Sean Stevenson has a great podcast you guys should be checking out. I talked about him earlier. Has a lot of great information on that podcast. And believe it or not, I do have a life outside of health and wellness. I love music, and music was my biggest passion growing up. So I listen to a lot of podcasts on music. I read a lot of things on music as well. And so that's kind of like what I do if I'm doing like a longer exercise, something that you guys can do as well. So now after exercising, what I'll do is I'll kind of cool down for a little bit. I'm still drinking my drink, and then I'll take a shower. Now, there's going to be another episode about this on showering and what you should, not necessarily how to shower, but it's going to be part of an episode where we're going to talk about the water that you're being exposed to. Now, in our showers, we have a filtration system, not an extensive filtration system. It's just a shower head that you can buy from Amazon. It's really, really cheap. It's actually on our website, whatupdocuniversity.com/resources. And it's just a little filter that you put on your shower head, and it filters out a lot of the stuff that's in our municipal water systems that's actually poisoning us. A lot of people don't realize that your largest organ in your body is your skin, and you absorb whatever you put on it. So imagine yourself being in the shower for about 10-15 minutes. The shower is hot, and you got all these different chemicals that are vaporizing and going through the pores of your skin. You're absorbing that. And when you absorb toxins, it has a hard time getting out of your body, and it just kind of stays in there and festers and then creates all kinds of diseases. So within our shower, we have a water filtration system. So now, it doesn't necessarily remove 100% of all things there, but it removes a lot, and that's half the battle, right? Removing some of the toxicity. So I'm in the shower. I take a shower. Now, there's a way that I do my shower. When I use warm water, but at the end of it, I do the Tony Robbins approach. And what Tony Robbins does is he shuts the water off, or shuts the hot water off, and then just lets the cold water run. And then bathing in cold water right in the morning. There's nothing more invigorating than that. You guys should try it. First time I tried it, I was like, whoa, it's very, very intense. Now, for those of you who live in colder climates, take this for what it's worth. I don't recommend necessarily just cranking up the cold water and getting icicles coming out of your shower head. But actually the process of getting your body from a higher temperature to a lower temperature actually will induce your metabolic rate to actually increase, get things flowing, will cause different muscles to contract and expand, contract and expand, and you start pumping out your lymphatics, and it's a great way to detoxify as well. And I found that has worked for me. And then after that, I make so I'm out of the shower, right? And then I make myself, and I'm obviously dressed, and then I make myself my morning shake, and my morning shake consists of high concentrated undenatured whey protein, and I also take another enzyme with that, another proteolytic enzyme to help me break that down and assimilate that. And then I have a multivitamin, multi-mineral complex that I also take, just to give myself the nutrients that's not available in our food supply that we're supposed to be getting. All right. So I use that every single day, especially in the morning, just to kind of boost up my body's nutrient reserves. Now, most of the time after that, what I'm doing is I'm getting my son ready. I only have one son in school right now. Other one's going to be coming up. So people listening to this years later on, my kids are all probably in school by then. And get my son ready. We get in the car and I drop him off at school. Now, in my car, I'm listening to some type of educational material, whether it be an educational podcast on health, maybe a podcast on or some type of personal development material. Currently, right now, I'm listening to a program. It was actually really done a really long time ago. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. A really great program on increasing your body's capacity for and building that mindset. Really great program. Check it out. You guys can find it on Amazon. That's where I think I got mine from, was Amazon. So on the way to work, most people are either driving or taking the train, or for those who are travel far, maybe you guys take the plane. Whatever you do in that time, you guys should be filling your mind up with something. I don't recommend reading or listening to the news, because there's nothing new about news. It's old. They should just call it olds, not news, because it's the same thing over and over. Somebody died. Some house got burned down. The world is burning down in flames. It's just negative. So stay away from that stuff. There's nothing new about news. I mean, if something's pertinent for your life, you're gonna hear about it. Somebody's gonna tell you. Most of us are connected to social media, and you're gonna hear it. Somebody's gonna post something on it. So you don't need all that inundation with all the negativity. You got to keep yourself in a positive mindset, and that's for if you want to stay healthy, your mindset is where everything begins and ends. Okay. So on my way to work, I'm listening to this stuff, filling my mind with positivity, and then I get into the walls of my office. Now, before I get into my office, I actually have an automated text messaging service, or I use actually an app called If, or it used to be IFTTTTTTT, something like that. If this, then that. But I think it's just called If now. And what the app does is I've created a little thing where once I reach a certain or geolocation, it'll send me a text messages, and I have these different text messages sent to me on different days of when I get into the office of different things that I need to focus on and the mindset I need to be in when being in the walls of my office. And that's, for me, when I go to my office, it's like game day. I have to put on a different mindset because in dealing with patients who have different types of chronic health, chronic diseases that need that attention. It's not, I can't just go into the walls of my office very lackadaisical. It has to be intensely focused. So my patients are getting the best of me, and I'm also giving out the best for them because a lot of people they need that. I don't view my what I do as a job. I don't view it as a work. I view it as a calling. It's a privilege for me to get to do this, to serve others in this capacity. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing people get their health back and get their life back, because I've seen too many of my family members, too many of my friends lose their health, and I see, and me personally as well. Having lost my health. A while back, I understand what it means to not have your health, and it sucks. And it's very debilitating, not just on your body, but also on your mindset. It's upon your life. You can't do the things you want to do. So I don't take this for granted. And that comes with having the proper mindset. So I walk into my office having that mindset of how I'm going to help my patients and how I'm going to serve them the best in the best capacity that I possibly can. I got to be mentally aware of the things that they're telling me. I have to be mentally aware of the things that I'm asking them to get information. So all these things take preparation, and then that's why I spend so much time with morning rituals and morning preparation to kind of get me into that mindset. Okay. Then I'm in the office. This is my mid-morning time for 3 out of the 4 days, or maybe 4 out of the 4 days, because I am in the office on Saturdays. So this is my mid-morning time, and then throughout the mid-morning in the office, I'm drinking my water. I'm also eating some snacks, whether it would be some type of bar, or I've tried a bunch of different bars. There's a couple bars, I think it's called Kind bars. I've been trying those. I really like Lara bars. I like bars where you can actually read the ingredients and pronounce the stuff, and it's just that, nothing added to that. That's a whole nother topic. So I'm consistently having some type of snack in my regimen, and then Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm out of the office by 1 o'clock, and I'm driving back on the road and listening to more educational material. Sometimes I do listen to music, and I listen to music as a way of getting my mindset back, getting back into that right brain mode, switching from the left brain mode, getting back into that creativity, hearing the beauty in the instrumentation, hearing the beauty in the lyrics and the rhythm, and how that all meshes together. And that's how I listen to music. And just to get that right brain back into balance after being so left brain. I mean, being in the office is a whole brain activity, but primarily on some of the things that I got to do is all left brain stuff. And many of you who may work in different capacities where your jobs are demanding, sometimes you need to get back into that right brain mode. Some people are in that right brain mode in their work capacity. They need to get back into that left brain mode. So find whatever you need to do to create balance in your life, and that's the one thing that I want to kind of say about this episode. This episode is all about balance, and you need to find that balance in your life and what brings you the greatest balance. So then I'm at home, and then what I do is at home I kind of decompress from what I've done throughout that mid morning. So then sometimes I'll go and record music, or maybe I'll watch some type of thing on YouTube. I've been finding a lot of great health resources on YouTube. But also be careful about what you watch on YouTube, because a lot of it may seem like it's relevant to health or whatever, and it's really not. I find a whole bunch of crap out there, for lack of a better term. So weed those stuff out. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So my afternoon is pretty chill. I usually try to make my afternoons very, very chill, because I leave, it's a pretty crazy day in my world. And then I'm usually I'll play with the kids, or we'll go someplace, or we'll do something, as a family, and then we're having dinner. For dinner, we try to make as much as a healthy meal as possible. I had an episode on Green Chef that you guys can check out. Green Chef is a great way if you lead a busy life but you still want to eat healthy. It's a great way to get that healthy organic food into your body. And then evening time comes around. This is usually the craziest time of the day, because we got to get the kids ready for bed. Make sure that their teeth are flossed and brushed and all that kind of stuff, and then putting them to bed. And then that's the time where I start to wind my mind down and get ready for bed. I'll maybe have another high protein shake. I'll take some probiotics and some alkalizing supplements, and then a multivitamin, multimineral to kind of cap my day off. And then, all throughout the day, I'm still drinking some water. And we're kind of just winding down the day. Maybe I'll pull out a book, or I'll read something, and then maybe I'll get to some of the 10,000 emails and messages that I get in my Facebook inbox. And that's pretty much my day. I try to keep it simple and not get things too complicated. And that's the thing, and I also, just to kind of recap, I'm also very big on calendaring. I have my whole day planned out ahead of time, and so I know what to do. I don't leave this just up to, hey, what do I feel like doing right now? I plan my days out, and I live and die by my calendar. I always say that if it's not on the calendar, it's not happening. And I plan my day out. So usually at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm looking at and I reflect back on what I did throughout the day. And I kind of, I go back into a state of gratitude, and I give thanks that I'm able to even do those things. And I look back and I also think of, hey, how can I do this better? And sometimes I replay some situations, or maybe I go back into a patient encounter, and I'll think about that, and I'll think, well, how would I, or did I like what I've done there, and how could I have done it better? How do I do it better next time? You should always be in this state of constant improvement, looking at and reflecting upon the things that maybe went really well. So do more of that. Maybe you had something that didn't go really well. Do less of that and figure out a way to do it better. Maybe you had a simple encounter where you're like, hey, I had an opportunity to eat a certain way, but I didn't. Okay. Maybe I was being rushed and I needed to find something to eat, and I chose this, which wasn't as healthy for my body. What would I have done next time? Something simple like that, kind of like really looking back on your life and making sure that all the choices that you're making throughout the day will either lead you towards health or will lead you towards disease. And that's the one thing why I really stress, and why I wanted to do this podcast was a lot of people, they just kind of go throughout their day like a feather blowing in the wind, wherever things take you. But when you take control of your life and you really, really do the things that give you the best benefit, then you'll get the best results. Okay? So plan out your day. Make sure that you're getting high impact activities. Make sure that when I say impact, it means what's the activity that's going to bring you the best results. And not necessarily like high intensity workout, but you should be doing that too on occasion. But what activities are you doing? Are you doing things that don't bring you any benefit? Look at those things. Because a lot of people say that they're busy, but they're busy doing busy work. They're not doing anything really impactful in their life. And a lot of people are just doing things that may be impactful, but you could be doing it more efficient. And that's the thing about life, is you have to find things that you're doing that's impactful, but you're doing it in an efficient manner. And just to kind of go back, a lot of people look at my work schedule as far as me being in the office, and they kind of scratch their head, and they're like, well, you only work probably about 16 to 18 hours a week in the office. I say, yeah, physically in the office, I'm there, 16 to 18 hours. What I'm doing is I'm condensing time. I'm making sure that I'm giving 100, 200, 300%, as cliche as that may sound, of myself during that time, rather than spreading things out over a course of a day where I'm just tired and I'm giving less of myself. There's nothing, for me, I feel that there's nothing more of a waste of time than making or spending more time on something where you could condense it into a shorter period of time. That's just my opinion, because I've done that before. I've done the 8-hour days, and by the time I get to the end of my day, I'm mentally drained already. So it wouldn't make sense for me to give myself as a mentally drained physician to a patient, and I think that's really a big issue in our country, is mentally drained physicians trying to make decisions for their patients on behalf of them, and it ain't working, as we can see. So for myself, I've decreased my time spent doing that, but I've increased my way of being efficient during that time. So that's what that's all that's running through my mind at the end of the day, is could I have done things more efficient? How would I have done it better? What did I do that I liked? Do more of that. And then I kind of just, chilling out, spending time with my wife, doing something where maybe I'm connecting with other people. And that's pretty much my day. I mean, sometimes it may seem mundane. Sometimes it may seem boring. A lot of times we go out and we do fun things as a family. We're like last week we went to Disneyland. We go to Disneyland a lot, but we live right down the street from Disneyland, so we head out to the park, so we call it. Or we head out to different parks. We just wrapped up baseball season for the kids. We were very, very busy with that. It's finding what brings you joy. And what I mean by joy, it's true joy, not artificial joy. Because there's a lot of people who say, well, drugs, alcohol, that brings me joy. Well, it really doesn't. I'm here to say that it really doesn't. And I know that there's a lot of listeners out there who may struggle with some type of addictions. And I don't want this episode to turn into like an addiction counseling episode or whatever. But it's more about what you're doing in your day and how does it bring you joy. And true joy, where it's not artificially stimulated there. Man, that's what you want to make your day about, because days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months, and months turn into years, and years turn into your life. And how you spend your day equates to what you're doing in your life. And this life that we have is very short. We don't know how long it'll last, but we do know what we'll do within every single day. And that's one of the key things to life, is how you lead every single day, and making sure that you're in the moment, not thinking about yesterday, not thinking about tomorrow, but being present right there and then. That's how I choose to lead my day. And I'm not perfect. It's not like I lead this pristine life that everything that I do is Dr. Mike or whatever. I'm human, guys. I have faults, but what I choose to do is I look at those faults and I say, how can I improve upon those? And I do some things that are really, really excellent, and I choose to do more of that. So, with that said, look at your days, plan out your days, have a specific morning routine, because your morning routine sets you up for the entire day, and then do your day with purpose. Okay. Do your day and live your day with purpose, because a day of purpose is a lifetime of purpose. And a lifetime of purpose leaves a legacy. And a legacy is how you create immortality. So with that said, guys, I thank you guys for listening to this episode. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and then share this podcast with others. And in the coming episodes, we're going to bring you a lot of great information. Right now, I'm doing a lot of research on cancer. So I've been running into a lot of people who cancer is a real big thing. And there are answers for it, believe it or not. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all the things that will get you into the right mindset. We're going to talk about things of digestion. We're going to talk about pregnancies. Pregnancies. And there's so many things that we have in store for you guys. But from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys for even listening to this podcast and then spending this time with me, and then also spending time, on the Facebook group page, and also, on the website itself. So with that said, I hope you have an awesome day. Aloha and farewell.